Good morning, students. Hope all are doing good. Today we are going to learn a poem, Dust of Snow. Before that, I would like to tell something that this poem talks about the dust of snow. That means particles of snow. It is an element of nature. So there is a question for you. How many of you are nature lovers? How many of you spend time with nature? And do you really love nature? So these are the questions that you need to ask to yourself, because nature is a gift of God given to us. So there are a lot of things that we can learn from nature. So keeping this thing in mind, let us move ahead. Before we move ahead, I would just like to give a brief intro about the poet. Robert Frost was a famous American poet. He was born in San Francisco on 26 March 1874. He was the most celebrated poet in America. The poem Dust of Snow was published in New Hampshire in 1923. This collection gave him the Pulitzer Prize. So this was about the poet, and now a brief intro about the poem. The poet is trying to speak about that there can be a lot of negativity in the world around us. But even in that negativity, how can we be a positive person? So it's a challenge for us. One more thing, he's trying to say that there can be a lot of bad things happening in and around our life, but that it may be a small incident that can change our entire life. That is what he is trying to speak in this poem. The poem Dust of Snow is of 8 lines and divided into 2 stanzas. So now we are going to read the poem. Let us read the poem The Dust of Snow. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had ruined. So today we are going to see only the first part of the poem, the first stanza. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree. Way, it is a manner. Shook down means shook down some dust, some dust down. Okay. Normally, we have seen the poet using nightingale, peacock, sparrow. All these positive animals and birds have been used in most of the poets. But we here see that Robert Frost has taken crow. So crow is always considered as a very bad bird. Seeing the black color, the appearance, and its sound, it's really very bad. It is considered as very bad crow, very bad animal. So over here, poet has taken crow as an animal. Here we see that he's talking about the crow. Something happened to the crow. Now just imagine that there was a small tree, and under that tree Robert Frost the poet might be sitting, and over that tree the crow was sitting. And what did the crow do? The crow shook down on me. That means shook down on the poet. The dust on snow of snow. That means few particles of snow. Maybe it may be the season of winter, and normally in winter season we see snow, right? So over here we see something has happened in Robert Frost's life, that he is very sad, feeling low, depressed, sitting under the tree, thinking about something. And at that point of time, the crow that was sitting just above shook down some particles of snow, and it fell on the poet's head from a hemlock tree. Hemlock tree, a poisonous plant with small white flowers. Where was a crow sitting? He was sitting on the top of hemlock tree. And where was a poet sitting? Under the hemlock tree. Now, as we have seen that poet has taken crow as a negative animal, he has also taken hemlock tree. Hemlock tree, it is not a good tree. The speciality of hemlock tree is that with white flowers, but those flowers give a very bad aroma. It is also said to be a poisonous plant. So what is happening in the first part of the poem? The poet is sitting under the hemlock tree, that is a poisonous tree, and the crow is sitting above the hemlock tree. And what does the crow does? The crow shooks down some snow particles on the poet's head. So this is the meaning of the first stanza that we have seen. The next part of the stanza we'll be seeing in the next session. So there is a homework for you all. Write down all the meanings that we came across while studying the first part, the first stanza of the poem. And along with that, also solve some questions. So the first question here is based on the first stanza. How did the crow come and sit on the tree? Second, what kind of tree it was? Third, where was the poet standing and what happened to him? Fourth, where was the poet sitting? Please be ready with the question and answers in the next session. We'll be discussing the second stanza and along with it some